Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Brienne, and today we're talking about the golden ticket. The golden ticket is your headshot, and there's a lot of lore with headshots. There's a lot of mystifying things about a headshot, but we're going to demystify today. And let's start with the very first thing you should do for great headshots. Number one, do your research. Now, there's a lot of grifters out here, a lot of people who want to say, hey, for $500, I'll do this, this, and this. And it's all a bunch of unnecessary stuff. What you want to do is search for headshot photographers in the area that you're willing to travel to. Look up their website for their business and look at their portfolio. Now, the range of prices can vary. It depends on how long they've been doing it, their expertise, their popularity, etc., etc. So what you want to do is set yourself in a budget, and honestly, you may have to spend just a little bit more than you thought, but not too much. So you want to invest in this, and this person needs to have an established business. Like I said, a website is important, or they need to have an office, a real office, not going to anyone's house. Do not go to anyone's house. You want to either have an office or a studio that you can visit, or you want to meet up with them in a neutral place. We do have photographers who are professionals, but they don't have studios. They meet people on location, and that's fine. So if that is the person that you're working with, that's okay, but I would still suggest that you bring someone you know along, whatever the case. Now, and that actually serves 2 points, because you can bring someone who can be an assistant to you, but also someone who can ensure your safety. Now, another thing is, you're meeting these people for the first time. They don't need to offer you drinks and things to eat. Don't do that. Just bring your own. Watch your things. It's safety. These days are crazy, okay? Now, another thing about the photographers is that they need to know what the requirements are for your headshots. And they need to be in color, 8 by 10. And you want to make sure that, number one, you can get those photographs digitally, because sometimes with submissions for parts and with casting directors and agents, you have to electronically submit your photographs to them. But also, you want the option to be able to print those photographs. So a digital copy would be fantastic. Now, when you talk to your photographer, ask if they're going to send you the camera roll of all the photographs that you took, or do you only get a limited amount and then any additional you have to pay an extra fee for, because that sometimes happens. You want to know if they're going to email them, put them on a flash drive or a disk, or whatever they're going to do. The next thing you want to ask is, how long do they store your photographs? And what is the price for coming back and asking for additional photographs if you're only allowed to select a few, or if something happens to the apparatus that they put your photographs on? Are you able to come back? Do the photographs last for a year, or what's the story with that? And lastly, you want to ask them if they're going to be using your photographs to advertise their business. You may or may not want them to put your picture on their website, or in their portfolio book, or whatever the case. So that's something that you need to know. Now, after you've secured a photographer, and by the way, one good tip, I just remembered, one good tip is that if you really are pressed for cash, you can visit art art center, or art facility where they offer classes, a photography school, or even a community college, and you can find out if there's any students who would like to have someone to photograph, because just because they're learning doesn't mean that they aren't going to do a great job. They need the experience, and you need to save money, so maybe you can work out something in that manner. It doesn't make them any less professional, and it definitely doesn't make them any less skilled in doing this for you. So that's an option if you're really, really pressed for cash. Now, After you've established that you have a photographer and an arrangement of where you want to shoot and et cetera, you need to think about what you're wearing. Now, there are two different types of photographs. There's commercial and there's theatrical. Theatrical is more for film and dramatic work. And then you have commercial, which is more for commercials and friendly TV shows and things like that. So it's ideal to get photographs that have both of those. And typically, an experienced photographer will know how to capture both the commercial photograph and a theatrical one. Now, theatrical photographs are a little more serious. Your face is, you know, it's not that you're looking angry or anything. You're just looking like you. Like there's not too much happy, not too much sad, not too much. It's just you. And in your other photograph, your commercial photograph, you're looking friendly and approachable with a slight smile. So you want to adjust to what you wear and how you style yourself accordingly. For a theatrical one, my suggestion would be to just have a more sleek look. You want to have sleek clothing. Now you don't need logos, you don't need distracting prints. As a matter of fact, in both cases you want to have simple clothing that's well made and flattering to your body, in colors that are flattering to your skin tone or that bring out your eyes or whatever the case. But you don't want bunches of prints and patterns and textures. You just want to have something that's very clean. And even for your commercial, it's the same thing, except you can have a more casual look. So for instance, maybe you wear an all black ensemble that's very flattering to you for your dramatic, but then maybe you lighten it up a little bit with your casual, and your hair is less formal looking in your casual. And of course, in theatrical, you're sleek. Okay? So that's that. Now, on to makeup. Your makeup needs to be natural. You don't have to do anything to steer in a particular style. They want to see you. And so what you want to do is just make sure that whatever makeup you wear, it just accentuates your best features. And one of those features, the most important feature, will be your eyes. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to making those eyes bright and just let them tell the story of you. And you don't have to do anything too fancy. You just want to do a little squinch, You don't need to glare, you don't need to look angry, you don't need to look you don't need to do any of that. You just need to look and let them capture the beauty of your gaze, okay? That's that. Now, after you've decided what you're going to wear, and after you've decided and adjusted your makeup onto your hair. Now, this is very, very important, especially for us ladies who constantly change our hairstyle. You want to make sure that whatever look you create for your headshots, you're able to replicate. Because when you go into your auditions and things like that, they want to see the person who they selected from that headshot. So one way, if you're someone who constantly changes your hairstyle, to get around that is to make sure, like for instance, me, sometimes I wear my hair in a blowout, sometimes I wear it curly like it is. So what you can do is you can take your dramatic photograph with your sleek blowout, and then your casual one, you can have all those little pretty tendrils just flowing everywhere, and you're casual and you're in nature, etc., etc. And that's one way. That way, when they see you, they know that you're versatile, but they know that you weren't faking who you were in the photograph. So that's that. Now, after your hair, your makeup, your clothing, you want to make sure that your location is good. Now, where the thing about the photographs is that you need a neutral background, and so you can do a nice gray, a nice blue, a white. When I say blue, like a pale blue, it doesn't have to be like a bright blue, but you want something neutral that's not going to distract from you, something that makes you pop. And so just think about how when you used to take your photographs in school, for instance, and they had the backdrop, you need something that's going to not distract, but it's also going to just bring you forward. And if you choose to take a picture outside, a lot of people take, pictures against like a brick wall or a tree or whatever. You want to make sure that that background is slightly blurred, because again, you don't want to like be in a photograph and there's like moss, and the green of the moss is just like overpowering the picture of you. That's not what you want. You're the focus. You're selling yourself as a professional actor. So try to keep your background neutral. Now, speaking of neutral, no props. You don't need props. We get it. You are the canvas. And when I look at you, I know as a casting director that I can see you as a police officer. I can see you as this. I can see you fit the description of what the writer is looking for. If it's an imitation of human beings. If it's something like Avatar or something, then of course you're going to be in costume and CG or whatever they call that. But yeah, we know that. So you, they need to see you is basically what I'm trying to say to you. So after all of those things, you you want to make sure. Let me grab my notes. Sorry, I think I forgot a step. Let's see. So we covered logos. We covered your background. We covered theatrical. Okay, posing. That's the last one. So when you pose, you want to be relaxed. It's important to relax because you can see tension in photographs. You can see when someone's uncomfortable in photographs. And if they're filming you and if they're looking at a picture of you and you're uncomfortable and you're tense, how are you going to be when you're on camera for this major motion picture that you want to be a part of? So that's something to think about. So you want to relax your shoulders. You want to get rid of your tension. And one way to not be nervous when you take your pictures, at least this is the way I think of it, there are so many people who take beautiful photographs every day just being themselves. Take a deep breath, do a little squinch, and just let the photographer do his job. He's going to capture the best parts of you. And you get to see those pictures before you even get to show them to, or have to show them to, casting agencies. And lastly, remember, there's beauty and diversity. So don't worry about not having this type of hair or this type of skin or this type of whatever. We're looking for people that look every kind of way because we're made every kind of way. And so that's my encouragement to you. And before I go, I just want to say, don't retouch your photographs excessively. I understand that sometimes when you take photographs, you may smooth out a blemish, you may remove a piece of hair that you didn't know was on whatever. That's fine. But when you dramatically alter your pictures, you're not telling the truth about who you are. And so if you're ever worried about misrepresenting yourself and getting turned down from a role, that's something that could do it. So you want to show up looking the way that they picked you when you were in that photograph, when you were on that reel. And when you show up for auditions, try to make sure that you match the photograph that you presented to them. Not saying you have to wear the same outfit or the same colors, but if you sell yourself as just a curly haired, carefree lady that's well put together, that's what you need to present when you go into your auditions. All right. So again, thank you for joining me today. And remember, the link with my PDF on these tips is in the description below of this video. I will talk to you soon. I have more great information. Have a wonderful day. Bye.